All right, welcome back to our third exercise of the course. Now, for this exercise, what I wanted to do was give you some real life examples of media kits that successful bloggers are using out there. We can talk for hours about theory and give you lots of bullet points about how to build your media kit, but I think there's really is tremendous value in looking at actual media kits that successful travel bloggers are using and have used in the past to get sponsored travel. All right. So what I did was I put together this short listing here, and it's really not that short. And the way to use this is if you download the actual media kit in the PDF form that's available in the course, you can go to each of these buttons here, and I have direct links that go to these individual travel blogs media kits. All right. So the way to use this is, take an hour or so. It may not even take that long, but visit each of these travel blogs media kits and have a look at and try to apply some of the thoughts that we've talked about in the previous section of the course. Looking at what these people are doing, how they're presenting their information. To make this the most valuable for you, you can see, I have Scott Eddy here that we talked about before. He's at, sort of the top of the influencer list. So he's going to have a lot of things in there about his statistics and, previous work that he's done. But, recognizing that not everyone, may be at that level of influencer, I've also included a lot of people that are just, I don't want to call them regular travelers because they're doing extraordinary work, but they may have a following and an influence rating that may be closer to the people that are taking this course. So these are maybe new to the game, or they may just be part-time travelers that utilize their media kits when they take their vacations to obtain sponsorships in their travel. So I think it's really cool to look at those people as well too, because they craft their media kits in a way that I think a lot of people that are going through this course may craft their media kits. So with that said, go through the exercise, click on each of these, have a look at them. And what I'd like to do right now is, I'll go through this exercise with you, and I'm going to pull up here in a second a media kit that I think is pretty unique and pretty ingenious, to be honest with you. So let's have a look at one of those right now. Okay, so here it is, and I wanted to share this with you because I found this media kit from a relatively popular travel blogger, and this is a family travel blog, and I thought it was just a really cool way that they're displaying their media kit. So, this is a publicly available media kit that they have, a direct link from their website. You can see they have a button up here that, says to work with us. And then right away when you highlight over it, you can see they have a couple different topics that come up on, specifically, if I'm a sponsor and I'm coming across this, I click on this and I can go to a couple different niches that they have for the products that they offer, and you can also go to their general media kit, which is right here. And what's cool about this is it's semi-automated, and let's just walk through it real quickly and go over a couple things that we talked about in the course. You can see, they're starting out with a vibrant picture, right? We talked about that, having an aesthetically pleasing media kit, with their brand name as well too attached to it, and also the date. So you can see all the things that we talked about are, from introductory are being put into play here in this media kit. So we talked about the introduction and trying to get a personal connection with your audience, and they certainly do that here. They have a little snippet here about who they are. Remember we talked about putting in a personal picture of yourself to sort of introduce your personality to your potential sponsor partner, and this is a great example of them doing that here. And they take it to the next level, right? They introduce their names with the nice family pictures of themselves. And also your eye is drawn to, making that personal connection with this family, but also your eye is drawn to the fact that they're the #1 travel blog. So, they're knocking it out of the park here. They're doing a great job with some of the things that we talked to. And then the next logical question after the introduction is, well, what do they offer? And, you can see that they have a listing of their offerings here. And of course, they don't put pricing here on their publicly available media kit, but you can see that it's very clear. So if I'm following up after receiving a pitch from these people, I could see what they offer, and not only have what they offer, but a short little snippet right below. Again, remember we talked about keeping it simple, and that's what they're doing here. They're just introducing, what their offerings are and a short little one sentence, hook line and writing some copy within that to try to get the potential sponsoring partner to go further into it. Again, they bring it back to a picture, right? So think about this as a journey as someone is going through and looking at their media kit. It's not just throwing out a bunch of facts and figures and statistics. They're integrating pictures and easy to read buttons for you to draw your eye into. And to be honest with you, this is kind of a fun way to go through and read a media kit, right? If you're a marketing manager and you get hundreds of media kits to your desk, they can get kind of boring looking at the same thing over and over. And this is a cool little way to communicate who you are and what you're offering to them. And again, remember what I said during the course, that this is your introduction to your ability to sell the sponsor's product to your audience. So, it's, when I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wow, these people, really do have a unique way. And, as a potential, audience member looking at this, it's very, appealing and, very, very well done. They next go into, this is their niche is family traveling. So they're actually having a little bit of sales pitch here and providing some facts and figures on why sponsors should work with, their particular niche of branding here, which is pretty ingenious and smart. Again, throwing in a nice picture, we're getting a connection with this family already, right? They say the world's most traveled kids from Forbes magazine. So they're introducing, that information to you. And they're, again, a wonderful picture that they have here that they're including. So I just want to include that. Again, it throws it right back to how to partner with them, some different offerings that they have. Again, this is building a story, right? It's like watching a movie. You're going through the process of the introduction. You're learning about the person, then you're getting hooked back to okay, maybe I could do this with them, and then you're seeing another picture of them and a little bit more marketing, but then you're coming right back to these are definitive things that and actionable items and pitches for them. Back to a picture again. Now they're bringing in their statistics, and they're giving you some easy to read graphs and pictorials. Again, bringing it back to some photography work, back to some stats. So we're mixing it up a little bit. Back to a photograph, back to some stats. You can see that these guys have some really killer statistics. So for this particular one, they're really laying it out there. And remember what I said with my media kit on how I don't only put the actual statistics in here, I link it back to some influence, and you can see they did the exact same thing. So not only do they have 21,000 Facebook followers, but that lends itself to 48.7 thousand reach per week, all right? And that's important because you're doubling up on your statistics, and you're communicating the value in that. So again, they have some testimonial, not quite to the testimonials yet, but they have they're showing all of these companies that they've worked with. Again, I mentioned sometimes it's not always good to include the copyrighted or the trademarked brand image in here, but they've made the decision that they think it's a good idea, and it's pretty effective, right? If I'm a potential sponsor, these people just looking at the single slide, it's telling me that they've done a lot of work with them. So it's kind of enticing to add my brand name into there. And, it's also, I think this is the part where they give a little bit of confidence to your sponsor too, to say, it's okay to work with us because we've worked with a lot of people in the past, and, we're going to have a positive experience with you as well too. So pretty effective putting that in there. They also have, this is again getting into their exposure. So when you work with us, you have the potential to be seen across all of these mediums. And again, some accolades. We're getting into the testimonials now. They're sort of laying out their resume, and again, this is done in a nice format. It's simple, it's clean, it's easy to read. Now we're getting into some real testimonials, and I think these are powerful as well too, including direct words from people that they've worked with in the past. There's a lot of value in here as well too, and presenting it in a nice clean format. I like the way they do this. It's easy to read, and it's not all in your face though either, like, hey, look at these testimonials. It's a nice, easy read. And again, it's obvious that this is the strategy that they're trying to do, is to paint a picture, to take the audience on a storyline through what it's like to work with them and the benefits and the value that they offer. Some more testimonials again too. They have 2 pages of it. They also bring it back to what your readers. So it's not only, it's not only about what your testimonials and the people that you have worked with, but also what your audience is saying, right? That's a pretty clever and smart way to throw in any doubts that the potential sponsoring partner may have in working with you about what is your audience saying about your interactions too. And it's pretty clever. Again, let's link us back to a nice pretty picture. And here is just one more final. This is kind of getting up to the call to action. We talked about that, how important it is. They're ending their presentation. They're communicating to their audience. Look, this is some more things that we can do, and another picture. And again, they hook us with the final slide here, which is the call to action, and it's a pretty definitive call to action. They're pretty much telling the audience, the potential sponsoring partner, all right, you've seen who we are, what we do, what value we bring to the table. Let's take the next step. All right, here we go. Email us, contact with us, hook up. Let's do this. All right. So I just want to walk through you guys with this because I think it's a pretty well done media kit, and I think there's some value in it. Certainly when you prepare your own media kit, you may not have the same statistics or the testimonials that these people had, but I don't think there's any problem, even if you're new or just getting started with it, or even doing this part-time, to put together a simple presentation like this and link it into your blog. I think it's pretty effective. I think, after you go through and look at it, you can probably agree, and you could probably do something pretty ingenious and creative as well too, to communicate, your individual value. Like I said, even if you don't have those crazy high statistics, this is a way to maybe communicate, your value, what your market is, the influence that you have over your audience, and present it in this format. I'll say, and I'll just end this with, some people may be saying, well, this is a little bit graphics heavy. I don't know how to do a presentation like that. But I'll say it's not as hard as it looks. You can certainly use Google and find a way to come up with some easy solutions. There's some apps out there for building programs like this that you can just dump the HTML code right into your blog. And the other option is and I don't know if anyone has done this before, but there's virtual assistants out there that'll do this for you for a nominal fee. Maybe no more than $50 to $100. You can hire someone to put this together for you, and your product. You just make sure that they know that what you're doing, and some people will easily pay for this for you, or you can pay to have this done pretty easily. So I hope that was helpful for you, and we'll move on to the next steps.